boys and girls, we're on Wednesday, May 20th, math procedural practice and math task. And this is our third grade BCSD distance learning packet. One way, it talks to us here about unit fractions and how there's one part on the top to the whole, however many pieces there are, one part to the whole. And this is how you write a unit fraction. You always write one on the top, and then you count your pieces. So this is one whole strip. There's 1 out of 4, another 1 out of 4, another 1 out of 4, and another 1 out of 4. So these are all 1/4 or one part of the whole. 4 pieces makes one whole strip. One whole is divided into 4 equal parts. What unit fraction represents one equal part of the whole? So the unit fraction that represents one equal part of the whole is 1/4. So now they want us to practice. They want us to divide these rectangles into equal parts, okay? So let's do, this one's pretty easy peasy. If you divide it into 2 parts, you're going to divide it right down the middle. So you have 1 part, 2 parts. My middle is not perfect there. That's going to bug me. So probably about right there maybe. It's a little bit better. All right. This one says to divide into 4 equal parts. Remember, if I'm dividing into 2 parts, I only need 1 line here to make 2 separate parts. If I'm dividing into 4 parts, I need 3 lines. So I need to space it out a little bit. Make sure I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 1, 2, I set this up wrong again. 2, 3, 4. All right. I know my spacing is off and this piece is a little bit bigger. That's okay. Maybe try to make it a little bit more perfect than mine. All right, and then I want you to continue. Making 8 equal parts here, you'd have to make 7 lines. Making 3 equal parts here, you'd have to make 2 lines. And making 6 equal parts here, you'd have to make 5 lines. All right, it says how many equal parts shade one part and write its unit fraction. So they want us, it wouldn't matter which one you shaded, but I'll just go ahead and shade this first little section of the rectangle. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts, and I shaded 1. So my unit fraction is 1/4, 1/4, because I shaded 1 out of 4 pieces. My packet cut, it's not like your packet, I copied this online and this cut off, so we're not going to worry about that one. We'll go on to number 7. How many equal parts are there? There are 1, 2 equal parts. And if I was to shade 1 part, that would be 1 part shaded out of 2 total parts. Okay? Now, I have to go back because it says up here to label each part of the unit fraction, and I did not do that. So this would be 1/2, and this would be 1/2, because this is 1 piece out of 2, and this is 1 piece out of 2. If I was to label unit fractions here, this would be 1 out of 4 pieces. This would be another 1 out of 4 pieces. This would be a third 1 out of 4 pieces, 1/4, and this would be 1 out of 4 or 1/4. And the way we write that, this is 1/2, and this one is 1/4. So it can be written in words, or it can be written in a fraction. And you could say 1/2, or you could write it either way. Or you could say 1 out of 2, 1 out of 4. All right, boys and girls, so continue. Please do numbers 3, 4, and 5, and make sure that you divide it into equal parts and you write your unit fraction for each part. Down here, shade 1 part, write how many total parts, and then write your unit fraction. 1 is shaded out of how many? Only shading 1 here, only dividing it into how many parts it says here, and labeling your unit fraction. All right. Mrs. Francis drew the following picture on the board. Then she asked her students what fraction it represents. Emily said the picture represents 2, 6. 2 are shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Label the picture to show how Emily's answer can be correct. Well, we'd have to label our unit fractions. So if we labeled it Emily's way, we would have to make each of these 1/6. So there are 1/2/6 shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6, 6 total. Okay? So we labeled the picture. Raj said the picture represents 2/3. Label the picture to show how Raj's answer can be correct. He's saying 2 out of 3 pieces are shaded. So he was looking at this in thirds. Okay? So we haven't talked about adding fractions here, but this 2 of these together is 2/6, and 2/6 is equivalent to 1/3. 2/6 and 1/3 are the same, because if I was to make another fraction strip here, you would see that this section is 1/3, this section is 1/3, and this section is 1/3. All right? So if this was shaded, I notice that Raj is correct as well. They are both correct. 2/6 or 1/3 is shaded. Now Alejandra said the picture represents 2. Label the picture to show how Alejandra's answer could be correct. I would like you to try that section on your own and label this picture as 2. And if you come up with an answer, please post it in our Class Dojo class story and or in our portfolio. And you can either write the answer or you can draw it out. And I'd like to see your answer. So these are comparing fraction strips, and this is a lot of what we've already covered this school year and what we went over in Khan Academy since we've been out. And I know it's hard with the distance learning and not having manipulatives. But anyhow, if you have any questions, please ask me, boys and girls. And again, I'm always here to help you, right? So have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.